Did I start the recording this time?
Now you did. There we go.
Okay. Let's do this all again. Okay. So,
Take two.
Take two. Episode 10 of the new Cranky Workshop. Hello.
Double digits.
Yes.
All right.
Lee. I am Lee from Busted Knuckle Woodworks. That is Jered.
Jered from Inland Wooden Resin.
Yes, as I said, this is episode 10. Did you know, Jered? Did you know? You know, I got this from ChatGPT, so it could be totally wrong. But only 8% of podcasts actually make it to 10 episodes.
Oh. So we are
that is true.
Far on the other side of the bell curve. Nice.
We are in the 92nd percentile of quantity, not quality.
Not quality.
Because that's what the show is all about. Quantity over quality. That's what we do. And today is not only a special day because it is our 10th episode, but somebody's having a birthday. Who could that? Oh my goodness gracious.
Best $1.25 I spent all day. You damn right. I spent it on myself.
There you go. It's Jered's birthday, and not only is it his birthday, it's a very special birthday. This is a milestone birthday, right?
40.
Big 40.
40. And I still feel like I'm 40. Yeah.
Man, you know, I remember my 40th birthday very distinctly. Now, you're a family man. You're spending your 40th birthday here with me on a podcast, taking it easy.
Mm-hmm.
I spent my 40th birthday. I blew 200 at a strip club in El Paso.
Nice.
Yeah. I met a very nice Colombian lady who was working her way through school, and I had to help her out. And then
yeah, there you go. You paid for somebody's college education. There you go. Silver lining.
I'm a nice guy like that. Some people mature much slower than others. I did some wild and crazy shit in my younger days, which by younger days I mean 40s.
Yeah, I got all of that crap out of the way as soon as humanly possible, and then still refused to grow up. I didn't do shit today. It was fantastic. I didn't do shit. I didn't go to work. I woke up later. I took my kid over to my mom's house. I'm like, give me half a day. I was planning on a full day, and I had all sorts of shit planned. I didn't do none of it. I just sat my ass on the couch, waited for the fam bam to get home, opened some birthday gifts, had some pizza, drank a beer, and now I'm doing this. Great fucking day.
Absolutely. Okay, so a couple of show notes. It's a little early to be talking about episode 11, but I want to give a little preview because I want to prepare the audience. We're going to do a Woodworker March Madness, and this is in the next episode. The reason I'm bringing this up early is because we require viewer and listener participation. So what we're going to do is we have a roster of 40 teams that would be woodworking YouTubers. And we're going to have a draft on the show. Mm-hmm. Jered's going to pick. I'm going to pick. We're each going to pick a league of 16. And then on our community page on the podcast, we're going to have brackets. So the seeding will be based on subscriber count. Top subscriber count in the league will play the 16th. The second highest will play the 15th. So that's how the seeding will work. And then we're going to work it all the way down. We're going to somehow do a live final. So yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be fun. And we're going to print the brackets. We're going to have the brackets available for you to print out and do your own bracket. Whoever gets closest, we might, I don't know, maybe work out some kind of a prize or something.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We got some time. There's enough gray matter between the two of us to figure something out.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Although I left some of my gray matter in El Paso about 25 years ago.
Yeah, apparently so, right?
Also, stay tuned because we're doing a new segment on the show that I think is going to be a regular segment, and I think it might be fun. But before we get to that, viewer comments.
Mm-mm. We had some good ones from last episode. We had some real good ones.
We did. We did. So, Mark, from Start Making, you both have made this journey far more enjoyable for me and I'm sure others. So, for that, I am grateful. One area you have let yourselves down in, and this is a big one, what the F happened to being cranky?
Ah,
Yeah.
stay tuned, Mark. You're gonna get it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we were thinking about that, and the last episode, if you didn't see it, you should go back and watch it because it's very heartwarming and it's full of like lovely sentiments, and those weren't the real us, okay?
Mhm.
And but now you're gonna get the unfiltered, uncensored, real deal today.
Yep, I'm 40. I don't give a shit. Here it comes.
This is the time when you can just start being eccentric and saying whatever you want, and people will just write it off to he's old.
Yeah.
Let him alone. Michael from MJL Woodworks. He sent us a submission which we played on the air. The lighting in my video, my God, it did not look like that on my phone. And the response was the lighting was very movie-like, and that movie was called The Blair Witch Project.
Now, okay, so to Mike's defense, I think he put it on his community tab. I don't know, 4 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, something like that. And he was like, "Holy shit, my wife is away. I'm actually watching myself on the TV." And I was like, "You know what? I've never done that." And I started playing my videos on the TV, and I was like, "Well, there's 4K. You know, holy crap! You get to see everything that is wrong with your video when you watch it on
Yeah.
a TV."
Oh,
So yeah, I
yeah,
totally get it.
I check everything that I upload on a TV first.
Yeah.
Always have. Yeah. Let's go through a few more here. Mila from Geometry Build. I laughed hard, amazing resolutions. So let's go. Thanks, Mila. Pierre, Brickologic. Thank you so much for the good words. I discovered a lot of cool woodworkers. Happy New Year to all. Yeah, so there were a lot of cool woodworkers who sent us submissions. And we thank you all for that, by the way. Really, really made the show. Joseph, Five Duck Studio, great episode. It helped that I was in it. But
I'm a duck.
but did it though?
I don't know.
Corey Shockey, I will absolutely buy a Nobody Died shirt if a 3XL is available. Don't do merch and forget us fat boys.
We got the best. We got the best comments. I'm sorry.
We do.
We got the best.
We have the best viewers, man. Absolutely. Yeah. And Still Works helped us solve a mystery. Thank you for the kind words, guys. And my name is John Still. So we couldn't figure out the guy's name. Hey, John. Yeah. We couldn't figure out the guy's name last time. So that's great. So his name is John. And he was
too busy getting abducted and reenacting all of Die Hard and all of that kind of stuff to throw his name out there.
Yeah. So new segment on the show. We just talked about it. What's making us cranky right now? And in honor of your 40th birthday, you go first.
Do I get to go first?
What's making
all right,
Jered? Let me introduce it. Jered, what's making you cranky right now?
All right, let me get my cranky face and everything going here. Okay. So, a little bit of a backstory here. So, about 2 weeks ago, I was getting fed up with the crap that was getting recommended to me on YouTube. So, I did something very, very dumb. I was getting, I swear, nothing but videos of 5 projects that sell, CNC projects that sell. Do this if you want to sell your woodwork. Like, it was nonstop. And I fucking hate those videos. I can't stand them. I know that they get big views and I know why they make them because that's the name of the game with YouTube. So I'm going through and I'm like, I'm not interested. I'm clicking that button. And then all of a sudden I go to my actual settings and I just erased my browser history. That was such a bad move because as soon as I refreshed my YouTube feed, I got all of those videos again. All of them. I shit you not. And it even went back so far, like a couple of weeks, maybe a month or so back, where I was looking through it. I'm like, I don't want to watch that. I don't like that. I don't like that. It threw it right back at me. Do not clear your browser history. If you have really awful stuff on there, just own it. Live up to it. That's what you did. But don't clear your browser history. Just don't do it. Such a bad move on my part. And I swear to you right now, like I was thumbing through earlier today, and I was just like, God, this sucks. I'm going to have to recurate everything, go back through. Just so, yeah, don't clear your viewing history. Don't clear your browser history in Google. Don't do any of that kind of crap. It'll just make it worse.
Right. Okay.
Lee, what's bothering you?
No, that's not the line.
Oh, I'm sorry. Lee, what's making you cranky right now?
Okay. There you go. All right. I was thinking about this today, in fact. I did a video, it was almost a month ago, about an app from a company called Fix.com. Really good app that I rely on heavily. The app is called Fix. I tagged the company in the description so they would see it.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't pay me. They don't know me. But you would think if you spent several weeks making a full-length video about a product that they are trying to promote and talking about how great it is to thousands of people, they might reach out and say, hey, thanks. Do you know what I heard from them?
Nothing.
Fuck all.
Okay.
Right. So somebody, and I can't remember who, commented, have you contacted the company? Or were they aware that you made this video? And I said, no. But I said, you know what? I'm gonna send them an email. I sent a link to it, to the video, and said, hey, I made this video about your product. Just wanted you to know. What do you think?
Sure.
I know that at least 2 other viewers did this exactly the same. So they got multiple emails notifying them of this video. So guess what I heard from them after that?
Nothing.
Fuck all. Yeah. I did another video on a product from a company called TSO. It was a track saw square for DeWalt. I have a DeWalt track saw. There aren't really many good options for track squares.
Yeah.
Theirs is pretty good. I made a really good video, I thought, about it. Reached out to them, messaged them on Instagram, messaged them on Facebook, sent them an email. Guess what I heard back?
Nothing.
Fuck all. So, yeah, so fuck you, TSO. I did an hour's worth of material, 2 videos on the Laguna C-Flux 1 dust collection system. Thousands and thousands and thousands of views. Guess what I heard from Laguna?
Nothing.
Nothing. Fuck all.
Fuck all.
So Fix, TSO, and Laguna, that's what I'm cranky about right now. Ungrateful fucking tool companies that do not acknowledge you at all.
Now, let me ask you this.
That is the shittiest marketing I can imagine.
Right. I mean, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If you had the same view counts as maybe like your Unistrut clamping video or your miter saw video, do you think they would have chimed back in and said, thanks for the spot?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't. I do not. On the other hand, because I do want to point this out, when I was a really, really small channel, I did a review for the Jessam PowerTech SR router. I had like maybe not even 1,000 subs then. Jessam reached out to me the next day, sent me an email, thanked me profusely. Justin, who's a vice president in that company, asked if they could feature the video in their social media. I said, go for it. I did another video on their Pocket Mill Pro. They actually helped me. You know, we did a long call where they talked about the different features and so forth. They said, you know, if you need any help, if you need any media stuff, if you need any footage, reach out to us, let us know. They were really, really super nice. And I was nobody.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the exception. Unfortunately, that's the exception. If you're a YouTuber and you do tool reviews where you're not getting paid, you're a goddamn sucker. You're a sucker. I don't do them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck it. I will not do them anymore. Pay me, motherfucker, and then maybe I'll talk about your product. That's what I feel. And that's what's
true.
making me cranky.
There you go.
That is what's making me cranky. How's that?
All right. Yeah, I was going to say, how's that, Mark? All right, boys and girls, did you get your fix? When Lee asked me whether or not I had something I was going to be bitching and complaining about, I'm like, come on, man. Come on. I got a list as long as my arm. Come on, this will be easy. And then there it is. Lee just absolutely crushes that segment. We're going to do this more often.
So, yeah, do you think we have enough cranky material?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we do. You know, the thing is, we just talked about the fact that we did our New Year's episode last time out. In the spirit of the new year, new resolutions. This is a time when a lot of woodworkers kind of plan out their projects for the year.
Mm-hmm.
And so in order to facilitate that, I wanted to maybe have a segment where we talked about sources for free plans.
Mm-hmm.
As everybody knows, there are lots of places where you can buy plans, and those plans are quite good. But a lot of, especially beginners, may not be aware that there are lots of places online that you can get really quite good free plans.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe even some more experienced people may not be aware of this. So I want to talk about some of my favorites, and I know that you want to talk about some of your favorites.
Sure.
So let's kind of go back and forth on this. My favorite one is Craig. And the website is learn.craig.com. They have a number of really good projects, and in fact, I've built a few. Our guest bedroom has an entire craftsman style suite, 2 end tables, queen size bed, full chest of drawers that I built from Craig plans, and I didn't use pocket holes. And that's the thing, right? So the idea behind those plans, really the idea behind any free plans, is they're trying to, it's like when Campbell's soup gives you recipes, you know, they want you to use Campbell's soup, right?
They want you to use their tomato soup. Yeah.
Of course. So the thing is, the Craig plans all call for pocket hole joinery for the most part, but there's no law that says you have to use pocket hole joinery. So on the bed and on the end tables and on the chest, I used dominoes, but the plans were quite good. So that's one of my submissions for a good source of free plans, and that's learn.craig.com. Where do you like to go?
I have come across a couple of websites in the past, and again, a lot of it is all dependent upon, you know, what I'm trying to do, or if I know that a plan exists and a customer is asking for a thing. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I really like Shanty Chic. Now, I don't like them personally. Like, that's not my style.
Shanty Too Chic.
Yeah, sorry. Shanty to Chic.
Right. Right.
It's not really, it's not personally my style, but when you're in the business of trying to earn profit and people ask for things, you know, when somebody starts talking about farmhouse, they're kind of one of the like top 2 or 3 free plan options out there. The play table that I built for my daughter over the summer,
Right.
that design was almost entirely inspired by their plan. Completely modified it, used a different wood species, altered the dimensions a little
Right.
bit just because the plans were several years old and had an IKEA thing that they don't make anymore. So, and I mean, it's super easy to find. You just hop on their website, and they've done a tremendous job of categorizing all of their plans by room or function or
Right.
whatever. And it's like,
Yeah,
bam, that
I
one.
love that.
And then yes.
I was going to say, I love the way that they categorize the plans, or one of the ways they categorize the plans is by room, right? So bedroom, kitchen, laundry room, utility room, garage.
I mean, most of their designs are, again, kind of like Craig, where they're using pocket holes. They're not using dominoes or mortise and tenon, like traditional joinery methods or anything. It's meant to be DIY friendly,
right?
Which makes it super accessible. I mean, it's genius on their part, but the woodworker in me says, I don't need to put pocket holes there, and I don't need to do this. But that's where you, as an individual, can make those adjustments.
Sure. I like them too. And there's another one that's very similar. Of course, we all know and love her, Anna White.
Yep. The empire that is Farmhouse.
Yeah. So first of all, if you go to Anna White's site, and we'll link all these in the description, you're going to be awash in a sea of white chalk paint. You don't have to use white chalk paint.
No, I think she was crushing that whole distressed white thing before Joanna Gaines was even a thing. Yeah, she's been doing it for a long time.
So she's got literally thousands of plans on her site, amassed over a couple of decades or longer, right? I mean, she's been around for at least 20 years, right?
Yeah.
And so what Jered was saying, very accessible, right? So perfect for beginners. The plans are very easy to follow, only require the most basic of tools and very inexpensive materials. Most of it can be built with construction lumber. Shanty to Chic is very similar. I think the designs and the plans on Shanty to Chic are maybe a little bit more advanced, and they focus more on furniture. But the Anna White, love Anna White. So
yeah. I've recently, I think I mentioned this somewhere. Shit, I'm 40 now. I can't remember what I said a month ago. I think I mentioned this, that I'm trying to find the motivation to purchase a 3D printer. And I have been looking a lot onto printables, even a website like Inventables. Shaper Hub, if you can get access to Shaper Hub. There are all sorts of free plans that are on those sites that if you can manipulate a digital file, you could pull like an SVG and then do your thing with it and be able to read it and maybe print templates. Or, if you're so inclined and digitally aware, you can manipulate the files to create your own set of build plans. I look at those websites all the time just to get inspiration. But obviously, as a Shaper Origin owner, I mean, I can pull anything off of the hub and, basically import it right into my machine, and away I go. But I like using those digital plans to get those SVG files, because then I can tweak them based upon the set of tools that I have. I know that may not necessarily be beginner friendly, but it could be a good place to just look and, get a free account, go on there and look, maybe see if you could figure something out on your own, like how to make the thing with what you've got. I think that's a real good, like, weekend warrior exercise to level up your skill set, more so than just, print a PDF and then go down to your box store or lumberyard and buy your materials and go.
Yeah. So Inventables, I know. Yeah. Printables. Of course, those require that you own a CNC or a laser cutter or a 3D printer, right? but good suggestions. Another one that I like is Rockler.
Mm-hmm.
Rockler.com/free-woodworking-plans. And if you happen to read Woodworker's Journal, that's Rockler's publication. And so they have plans in there every once in a while, but those plans are all available online at Rockler as well.
Yes.
And they have plans that are quite good there. And they kind of arrange them by category as well. There's shop projects, home improvement, there's furniture, there's decor, there's toys and games, there's outdoor stuff. And a lot of it is quite good. Of course, a lot of times they recommend, obviously, they're trying to sell tools and they're trying to sell hardware and so forth. So if you're building a set of drawers, they're going to tell you which Rockler drawer slides you need. There's no reason to buy.
I say also, when you sign up for anything Rockler, get ready to have your email spammed like no other. You are going to have so many ads and things coming from Rockler.
Woodpeckers is the same way. It's like, dude, I do not need 4 emails a day, man. I just don't need that. One more I want to mention. Steve Ramsey talked about this, I remember maybe about a year ago on his podcast. And if you watch his channel lately, you'll see what he's doing now, which all the videos I'd say the last maybe 7, 8 videos he's put out are all project builds around plans that he's selling. So shop wwmm.com. Of course, WWMM stands for Woodworking for Mere Mortals. So it's shop wwmm.com. And his plans are quite good. They're rather pricey, but I think a good value. But he has a whole section of pay what you want. So it's a pay what you want model, right? So, and really, really very beginner friendly projects. And of course they all have videos that go with them. So, which is great again, for learning, right? I don't know if you've ever built anything off of Steve Ramsey plan. I have. I built some of the shop furniture here from his weekend workshop. Fantastic. His plans are amazing.
All of his stuff, I think, is like Fusion 360 derived, right? Or
SketchUp. It's all SketchUp.
Yeah, I mean, so it's going to give you blown up models. It's going to give you. I think I put together a segment in a video and then tried to make a longer form video, and it died. But I said that if in the plans it does not have like blown out models of all of the parts and pieces with all the dimensions and like a detailed cut list, don't use those plans. Steve Ramsey's plans have all of that. Anna White's plans have all of that. Shandy DeChic have all of that. That's why they do so well, is because it is laid out from step 1 to whatever the end goal is. And that's hugely beneficial.
Yeah, if you pay attention and measure carefully, cut carefully, it's hard to mess up, right? Yeah. And so the thing is, it's like there's an option to pay if you want to support Steve, but you don't have to. You can just put in $0 and you get the file, right? So the PDF, and you can print it out, whatever you want. So so those are really good. We'll link all of those in the description. Grab some of those free plans and get your new year started off right, as they say. Guess what's back?
Ooh. You remember those?
I remember.
Man,
these.
It's been a while since we have done those. Holy moly. Wow.
I know. So
it took me a while to dig it out. I finally found it, but I got it.
I just want to explain this to any of the new listeners, right? So, because we've got a lot of new subs. We have gotten a lot of new subs. 125. 125, I think, over the last month. So, what we do is we kind of have an Ask Me Anything segment that we occasionally do. And if you're a listener or a viewer, feel free to send us questions through our YouTube comments or just email us and we'll answer them on the show, right?
Yeah.
So what we do is we send each other questions, but we do it in kind of an interesting way because we actually print the questions out on paper and we snail mail them to each
We
other.
put it in the mail.
Yeah, like the old
Yeah.
fucks that we are, right? Jered's 40 now. He don't know how to work an email.
No.
I don't believe in that. I
Too
don't believe
many
in that
buttons.
email.
Too many buttons. Google Drives? What? That's nothing more than a digital black hole. Screw all that nonsense.
Amy, where's the stamps? I got enough questions. So anyway, all right. So I
go
sent you
first.
some questions. Oh, you want me to go first? Okay.
Yeah, you go first. You go first.
I'm going to go first. Let's see. These are the ones we haven't answered yet. Hold on.
It's been so long since I wrote those damn things. I don't even know what's left.
If money were no object, what tool would you add to your shop right now?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the thing is, money isn't the only restriction. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
There really are three when it comes to tools: money, physical space,
yes,
and time. Right, the time to fully learn the tool, the time to fully exploit it. So the problem is that even if money were no object, you still have the restriction of space and time, right? If I could buy anything, really, literally, if I could buy anything, I'd buy more space. I'd buy a bigger shop.
Yes.
Right. That would be the one thing that would really help me. But
that is the tool that is often never mentioned and overlooked when everybody says, buy this, buy this, buy this. Square footage is the most important tool.
Absolutely, man. Square footage is key. We talked about that before. These people who build these like silly miter saw cathedrals, I mean, they're just killing themselves because it takes up half their shop, and it's like, for a miter saw, really? Are you insane? So anyway, okay, I'm going to answer this assuming that I have the space and that I have the time. I would get one of those really big ass industrial CNCs. And I'm not talking about like an X tool or something like that fits on a table. I'm talking about a floor standing one, right? I'm talking about like one of those giant fuckers that like the cabinet guys use they like pump out 30 Raylan style doors in like an hour, that's
5 by 10, 12 horsepower. Yeah. Just boom, throw shit all over the place. Yes.
Yeah. It fits a full sheet of plywood, put a 5-horse dust collector on that thing, right? Go to town. Oh, I would love that.
Can I answer my own question? Own question? Okay.
We're allowed to answer our own questions.
Okay. I would love to get my hands on a CNC lathe. A CNC lathe. So it's spinning this way and doing this, because I would love to make baseball bats. Custom baseball bats that are all epoxy resin and all the, like, totally unusable. They're just for decoration. But I would love to just be able to chuck it up, go like that, and then wander off and be able to do another thing. So I'm on the same page as you, Lee. If you're not going automated and with, fuck you money, then what the hell's the point? Like,
really? Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't going to say something like a really nice set of Lee Nielsen's. Yeah. That's boring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So go for it, man.
Am I up? Okay.
You're up.
I'll go with an easy one first. Are we doing 2 of these today? Let's do 2. You want to do 2?
Let's just. You want to do 2? Let's do 2. Let's do 2.
All right. I'll go with this one because this one will be quick. What is the best customer service you ever received from a woodworking related company? And actually, I can point to 2 things. One, Shaper Origin. Okay. Everybody knows who's got a Shaper. They are fantastic for customer service. But I just put it, well, not just. 3 weeks ago, I put in an order for a particular item, which I mentioned on my stories today. It finally showed up. And I got a notice, I think the day after or 2 days after I ordered it, saying the company that it's coming from has it back ordered. It's not going to show up for 5 or 6 weeks. And I was thinking, okay, that kind of sucks. So I responded to the email with that company, and the company was WSI Machinery. They're headquartered somewhere in Illinois. And the guy that I was talking with, Alex, was just, like, really trying to work out the problem for me. It was $50. That's all it was. It wasn't $5,000 or anything. It was $50. And he was really, over $50. He's like, I really don't want you to cancel your order. I'm going to try and work this out for you. He said originally 5 to 6 weeks. I got it today, 2 weeks after I had put in that order. And that company now is going to be my retailer when I need to order more of these particular items. So kudos to you, Alex, over at WSI Machines.
Love it. All right. Let's see here. I wasn't prepared to...
I'll just wing it. That's what half this show is, right?
What is your number one woodworking pet peeve?
Ooh, that's a good one. I wonder who wrote that.
Boy, I have a lot of them. I'll tell you, one of them is shrinkflation. We all know that wood measurements are nominal measurements, right? A 2x6 is really 1.5 inches by 5.5.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've noticed, but I bring a tape measure anytime I go into a store. And shit is getting even smaller now.
Yep.
There's a company here that sells a lot of construction lumber. Mm-hmm. And this is Texas, right? So there's cedar everywhere. Cedar is like really, really common. Western cedar, not the aromatic cedar, but for outdoor furniture, right? And I build a lot of outdoor furniture. And the last thing I was building, I didn't buy enough. So I went back, I got it home, and I said, motherfucker, this is not fitting. This is a 1/16 of an inch skinnier now. Are you kidding me? Yeah. So 3/4 cedar was 11/16, and then all of a sudden it became 5/8 with no fucking warning. It's like, what?
Yes.
And it was more expensive. I'm like, God damn, you are kidding me.
We as woodworkers have always, since the onset of the pandemic years, we've been very cranky, to use a phrase, about like the quality of veneers on plywoods and, like you said, shrinkflation. I do the same thing. I bring a metric tape measure because my thickness planers and I use dominoes and all that kind of shit. It's all in metric. So right. I bring a metric tape measure to my lumber yard, and I don't buy 4/4 lumber if I can really avoid it. The thinnest I will go is 5/4 and mill down to a true 3/4. But 5/4, right. It should be 30 millimeters, 30 to 31, 30 right. Somewhere in there. And I have started to notice that, we're starting to get to 29 and 28.
Right.
And you're still paying that 5/4 board foot price, and your margin of error to get the thickness that you're after is becoming less and less and less. And I sure as shit don't want to jump up to 6/4 to try and get 3/4 lumber, because 5/4 is too thin.
And imagine how much you're wasting. You know what I mean? Half of your purchase is ending up in a bag, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
My last question, which I hinted at the end of the New Year's video. Right. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Have you ever thought about quitting YouTube? All the time. So, okay, let me preface. Let me step back here. So, after 2023, I went back and I looked at everything, and I unlisted a lot of stuff. I put a lot of stuff on private, and I basically came to the conclusion, in my own personal opinion, that everything that I put out from January 1st up through that Halloween outdoor pillory video, utter trash. I do not like any of it. with the exception of the recommendation video. And not because we did view counts, but because of the message. That's what that video was about. But up until I made that pillory video, it was like every time I released a video, I was like, fuck this. Like, I don't know why I'm subjecting myself to this kind of mental mutilation. But I learned something out of that pillory video. And that was, in order for me to do this whole YouTube thing, I have to be able to have fun with it. And yes, I'm supposed to give something to the audience. I fully well recognize that. But if it's not fun for me and I'm not getting something like physically out of it, then yeah, why the hell should I continue to do this? So that's why you've seen a little bit of a change in the last 4 or 5 videos with what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to purposely be funny. I'm still trying to, capture that snarky aspect. But I've gone full project based because to make a video, I got to get something out of it. Like I can't just stand in front of a camera and bullshit about how to buy lumber. That's fucking boring. So I have no plans on giving up because I'm still learning things and there's still a lot of experimentation to be done. And I like building stuff. So I'm not planning on going anywhere. But have I thought about quitting? Oh, you betcha.
So that was snail mail. Ask me anything questions.
Audience participation, guys. Chime in with your questions because we're running low. And like I said, there might not be enough collective gray matter here to come up with anything good.
I know. We need some of your gray matter. We need brains. Okay.
All right. We jumping into video spotlight. Brains. Do we have a gimmicky little intro yet?
No, we're waiting for one of our viewers to come up with like a motion graphic, and a little jingle.
Yeah.
But we don't have that yet. So
we're just too lazy to do it ourselves. That's all.
Yeah. All right. I usually just sing it myself. So let's go. Video spotlights. There you go.
There it is.
Right. Go for it, my man.
You want me to go? All right. I got my notes over here because I'm starting to forget what I tagged in here. My video comes from Darren Oates Fine Furniture, and the name of the video is Full Build of My Talon Table. Talon, I guess, like claw. I stumbled across this channel before I cleared my viewing history, so I was glad that I saved it into my watch later. But I have since become a huge fan of Mr. Oates. This is an Australian channel, and he has a very unique design sense. This Talon table is a design of his that he has reproduced. I think he says in the video a few dozen times in different iterations, but the design is the same. And there's some bent lamination in there. There is some traditional joinery. There is some modern joinery. And what's really cool about this is his problem solving with all of these curves and angles and how he uses jigs in order to get a domino to be at an angle, to create that mortise, to then line up a curved piece, which he uses another jig, and he's a sliding table saw guy, so, I got to geek out on that shit. But just all of these intricate problem-solving apparatus, or apparatus, whatever the hell the word is, to get this thing together. And, full disclosure, the video itself is pretty dull, but he does a very good job of walking you through step by step of how he goes about and makes this thing. And the table at the very end is, I think, a work of art. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous.
Right.
And
it is beautiful. But the point, like you say, the point of the video is not really the build, the product. It's the process, right?
Yes.
So it's a lesson in how, if you're building a lot of the same thing, or you're doing a very specialized build, it's really a lesson. These jigs are not hard to build or complex, right? They're just mostly plywood and some like very basic hardware.
I think almost all of the jigs
they're-
in his video were like particle board, probably just crap you had lying around.
Right, and like MDF, right.
Yeah.
But really ingenious use, right? Like the way you use those C clamps on that that bent lamination. I mean, that was really genius, right? And the other thing is, and I think this may be the highlight of the video, the way that he resawed that veneer, that bandsaw feeder was badass.
Oh yeah, yeah. That thing is a friggin' beast. And again, that's a type of tool that 90% of woodworkers are never going to need. But because he makes that thing the way that he does, it makes total sense to just put the thing in, let the feeder do the work, and you catch on the other side.
He made perfect 1/16 veneers just by catching on the other end, right?
First time I saw it, I was like, the first time I saw that feeder, I was like, holy shit, this thing, Jesus, wow, that thing is impressive.
I know. I'd never seen one.
Yeah, his channel, if you watch not only the video I'm recommending, but a handful of others, he is a professional woodworker. This is not a DIY guy. This is not a guy like myself who comes across and thinks he knows a thing or two. No, this guy knows his stuff, and the equipment he is using is professional grade to make heirloom quality furniture. Fantastic channel to watch.
Right. He's putting out some volume.
Yeah.
I mean, none of it is automated, right? I mean, he's not like punching out parts on a CNC, but I mean, he's booking right along, and he's got a process. And that shop was tight for what he was doing. When he was running through when he was milling, his ass was like rubbing against the wall. I mean,
he's backed up against the wall like this. Hey, but there you go. Like you said earlier, right? It's not about money or tools or anything like that. It's all about space. And that guy, he makes use of his space very well. So Darren Oates Fine Furniture. That's the video.
Fantastic. We'll link that in the description. And of course, I wanted to point this out too. We do these video spotlights every month, and we have on our playlists, we have a playlist of every video spotlight we've ever done on the show. In our subscription, all our show subs are public, and we subscribe to every woodworker that we featured in video spotlight. So if you want to see some really good videos and check that playlist out, this video will be in that playlist, and the video I'm about to recommend will be in that playlist. And I want to point out that Jered, this is episode 10, and he has continued his streak of never recommending a video from an American channel. Everything has been foreign channels.
I'm trying to broaden our audience's views. Get out of the United States. There's a big world out there, boys and girls. Go and watch what other people are doing. Right.
Yeah, and I think once he runs out of foreign channels, he's going to start recommending channels from other planets to just avoid the American channels, right?
Yes.
But your streak remains unbroken, my friend. And this is the first time I've actually recommended a foreign video too. So this is out of South Korea. This is everything about videos I don't like. There's no talking. I don't like the videos that have no talking, but this tool I thought was really unique and ingenious. And we've had a few of these videos. We've recommended a few of these videos before. You have, especially.
Yes.
Where it's one of the things I really love about channels from second world or third world countries, you might say, developing nations, I guess they call them now. I'm trying to think of the politically correct woke term. PC where these woodworkers don't have a lot of cash or access to tools, and they make their own stuff. And some of it is amazing, right? And I thought this was crazy. This guy, it's called, again, I think maybe English is a challenge, Jig Shop Hammer Sound. That is the name of the channel, Jig Shop Hammer Sound. And the title is It's a title made for SEO. Classic sanding tools and routers / a sanding tool that gives pretty good results / woodworking tools. These guys crammed everything into there. So imagine a slab flattening jig and an electric hand plane have a baby.
Mhm.
That's what this is. It is essentially a handheld flattening jig. It's not an electric hand plane because an electric hand, I have one of those. Most of us have one of those. They leave lines.
Mhm.
This one doesn't leave any lines because it works in all directions. An electric hand plane only works in one direction, right?
Mhm.
So basically what he did is he built a sole out of plywood. This is very basic hardware. One DeWalt trim router, one flattening bit, maybe a quarter of a sheet of plywood, and very basic hardware like threaded inserts and screws. And he basically built a handheld flattening jig that works as a jointer too. That's the other thing, because you can put a right angle sole on it and use it to joint and plane. It was crazy. And I thought it was pretty cool. And I was like, go ahead. Yeah.
I stumbled across this video before you recommended it, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, and it's
Okay.
gotten a shit ton of views,
Yeah.
right? It was at 400K
Oh yeah, it's kind of
or something like this. So
Yeah.
when I stumbled across it first, I was like, all right, whatever. And then you recommended it, and it just was like, God damn, it's clever. It's incredibly clever. But how many
Right.
people are actually going to build that thing? I mean, that's what I
Probably
get
not
out of
that many.
Yeah, I mean, it's like and even when you look at the comments, I think there were 250 or 300 comments, and it was like, "Oh my god, mind blown! Oh my god, it's so beautiful!" Or whatever. How many of you people are actually going to build that fucking thing? Nobody. I
Right.
appreciate the ingenuity. I like the problem solving aspect of it. I think it does have a couple of fundamental flaws in that it's going to throw dust all over the place, even though he did put a little dust connector thingy on it. And he was using a battery powered one. So we all know how well trim routers do with batteries. They last all of about 20 minutes and then they get sucked dry. But I was like, it's clever, but I don't know. It's just those kind of videos always rub me the wrong way. Like you just did a thing so you could just get a whole bunch of views. And I don't know.
I don't
I'm
know.
being a naysayer.
So
I'm
the
being a
thing is, to
naysayer.
me, I get the idea that this is probably a young guy who would never have a way of affording a slab flattening jig or have the room for one. I could see building it if you were in that situation. It replaces the base on a DeWalt trim router. You can use any router, right? You could use a full size router. You could use a plug-in trim router. I mean, that's a thing. So I don't think the fact that it was a cordless router really makes a difference. And plus, I have a shit ton of DeWalt batteries anyway. But yeah, I thought it was really cool. I did. So I liked it.
It's definitely worth a watch because it'll at least go, yeah, it's clever, it's cool. But yeah,
Right.
go and check it out.
And I think the more important thing is it might inspire you to build something completely different or just to look at problem solving a new way, right? YouTube is full of these guys who are like, I want to do this. I can't afford the right thing. How do I do it?
Mm-hmm.
And they figure it out, right?
And
And most American woodworkers don't do that because they have cash and they just go down to the store.
Yeah. And I think that's a fair and valid point that maybe when we were talking about this earlier, I didn't take into consideration. I have recommended videos before where people are using like drills to turn things, and it's like that's facilitating. We don't know what people's circumstances are. So, all
That's
right,
what it's all about, man.
I'll take back my crankiness on this video. You've sold me on that. He's problem solving based upon his set of circumstances.
Yeah. And I'll just say this one thing. That's where the real talent in woodworking comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm going to let you in on a little secret in case you didn't know this, everybody. Woodworking ain't that fucking hard. It's really just a set of very, very simple procedures that anyone can master with 2 eyes, 2 ears, a brain, and 2 hands. And by Jesus, we recommended a video, a guy with 1 hand.
Mm-hmm.
Pushing sheet goods through a table saw is not that hard. Drilling holes is not that hard. The real talent comes from overcoming obstacles. That's the real talent. I'd say that's half of it. And the other half is designing. Those are the 2 things I think a lot of woodworkers lack, especially beginners, right? That's the thing to learn, because you can learn the beginner processes in a relatively short time. But designing and being able to run into something and go, how do I fix this? That is the key. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There you go. So fantastic, man. So episode 10 in the can, so to speak. 10. Yeah.
There we go.
10. And so everybody, keep an eye out. Keep your eyes peeled. We're going to be introducing Woodworkers March Madness in episode 11. And thanks for joining us. I'm Lee again. That's Jered. Very happy to have you. Adios, amigos.
Deuces. I'm 40.
40.
40. All right.